What up, Nine?
Trapaholics Mixtapes.
As the 9% and word would say, make a better you, a better us.
Fuck being rational. Give them what they ask for.
Who do you think you are? I'm the word. Boy, man, I'm the one who put in the work.
When I move, is it a quick rumble? I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. We about to get into it. Well, no, we ain't. It's just a quick pop up. I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who came through last night. Who rocked out with us. Improv pop up last night. Put it back a couple times, but nevertheless, I feel it was a good stream. If you ain't have the opportunity to check it out, definitely check it out. Worth the replay value. Some good information in there. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to pop up and holler at the people real quick. Man, check this out, man. Mm, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, man. I just don't want people to be distracted, because a lot of the things outside of ourselves can and has the potential to affect how we feel on the inside. And, just in my personal life, man, I have to continuously remind people to stay focused on the goal. And if the goal is becoming a better version of yourself, you can't allow all these outside things to distract you. And you just got to take it for what it is, right? You got to take it for what it is. A lot of the stuff happens because people, a lot of these things that's going on in the world today. It has nothing to do with, I don't even know how to word it, but I don't even know how to word it. But a lot of this stuff happens because ignorance, man. People are just ignorant. People are projecting their hate, their fear onto other people, man. And it's sad because we can be learning from a lot of these situations, how to become better, how to do better. But instead, you take the time to judge, and a lot of times those judgments, come because of what's going on the inside of people. People fucked up on the inside, man. People got a lot of hate in them, man. And all these situations happen in the world, especially with the stabbing of the man in Texas, the boy in Texas. A lot of that is showing people true colors, the hate within people, And I wanted to cover that, but at the same time, it's like I feel it's like people are covering it the wrong way. So I wanted to, cover it my way, but at the same time, man, it ain't nothing. I just don't see any benefit coming for me from that, So I don't know. I might stay away from that. I might stay away from it. But uh, shit, if you think racism don't exist, situations like this will definitely show you it do. people's bias, the narratives, people, instead of just looking at the facts, man. I want to unbiasedly look at the facts. Fuck it, I think I might do it anyway. I don't know when, but I like to wait for information to come out instead of just jumping to conclusions. Because that's what people did. People jump straight to conclusions without having all the information. And that's what most people do. That's why people get paid. That's why people have professions and shit. But common folk, they just project what's going on, the hate that's within them, the biasness that's within them. They just project that shit on the outside. And you see that shit come through with hate, man. You see that shit come through with hate. But nevertheless, people go hate. You can't avoid that part of life. You just gotta learn how to deal with it, man. Everybody got opinions. They like buttholes. Just because you got one don't mean it's right or righteous. You know, And, we all got opinions, but those opinions is predicated of our perception, how we look at the world. A lot of that is due to our experience, and the black experience is unique to black people, man. Like we don't go through what other people go through. And when you try to get some insight on how your experience is, oftentimes people try to downplay it with their own experience. People don't take time out to listen to one another. You ain't gotta agree. You ain't gotta feel pity. You ain't gotta, feel sympathy. But just hearing other people out, a lot of times you would understand where they coming from. And like I said, there's a lot of times I hear people opinion and I don't agree with it, but at the same time I realize that's just their opinion. And then I can understand them better. But when black people talk about their experiences, first thing people say is, well, other people had it bad or this or that. Hey, we ain't talking about other people, we talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I share my experience? And I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy or none of that shit. I'm just sharing my experience so you can get another perspective. You know, Miss Chicago, what up, though? Mr. Mind, what up, sis? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, and that's another reason why, I built this channel the way I did. Is like so people can share their, experience. People can share their experience without feeling like um they jaded one way or the other way. Experience is just that. I tapped into that talking about maturity, right? I can tell you my experience, and if you can just listen and understand, that's one thing. But if I'm sharing my experience and then you telling me about somebody else's, you got to look at what's happening. You downplaying my experience using somebody else's. I don't care to hear that shit. I'm talking about me. My experience in this country, I love this country, right? But I experienced some bullshit. I don't cry about it, I don't complain about it. I learned from it and I adjusted and learned how to move. That's just the reality. Like talking to my wife, man, she hates Trump. My wife does not like Trump. And I'm just telling her like it's crazy because a lot of stuff, just being a black man that I've been hollering, trying to tell people about for years. It fell on deaf ears, and now people experiencing that shit for themselves. And now they complaining, and I'm just sitting back like, shit, what you want me to do? I can't do nothing about that. I tried to tell you how it was. It just didn't affect you at that time. Now it's affecting you, Now you got to go through it. And that's life, man. Unfortunately, that's just how it is, man. People don't care until it affect them. Then when it affect them, then they want everybody else to care. But when it wasn't affecting them, then it was like, it didn't affect them, so they didn't care. And that's how it be. That's how it be, man. And that's just reality. I ain't saying it's wrong and I ain't saying it's right. I just understood that's how it is. Until things affect people, it don't bother them a lot of times. But when it affects them, then it's an issue. And then they want support from everybody else. But was you supporting everybody else when they was going through it? And it's sad that it got to be that way, but that's just how it is. That's just how it is, man. And shit, I learned that from a young age, man. Trying to tell people my struggles, my plight. And instead of listening to me, they start telling me what other people was going through. And I'm like, shit, I'm not them people. I'm going through this shit now. I'm looking for a solution. I'm looking for an answer. I'm looking for help. But shit, they was too busy telling me what everybody else was going through. Even like, think about the black families that was affected with the crack epidemic. And I call it an epidemic because that's what it was. Wasn't fair to them people. They didn't ask for that shit, but it was given to them. And people was weak. Is it their fault? Yes. But just like the opioid addiction, I don't feel no pity for them people. I feel just like, when people took crack, that's the same way I had to live through that, man. I had to watch family members go through that shit. I had to watch the effects it had on other family members who wasn't doing the shit. And now, we got an opioid epidemic. People want sympathy and empathy, and it's like, bro, you just got to go through that shit, bro. Only thing I can do is give you some advice how we came through. But ultimately, shit, that's how the world works. It's your turn now. Now you got to deal with it. That's your turn. If you on your foot now, you got to deal with it. Everything has cycles. My turn today might be your turn tomorrow. So if you ain't helped me, how can you expect for me to help you? That's how it works, man. It's either one for all for one, or you on your own and I'm on my own. That's how it be. Not saying it's right, but that's reality. So until we get to a point where, you know, uh, we can help one another, we have to learn how to help ourselves, man. Ain't nobody coming to save you but you. At the end of the day, that's one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. If you think you're a good person and you do good things for other people, and eventually when it's your turn, people gonna do the same for you. Just be prepared for them not to do so. What I was just talking about to my dude, this crazy. Man, I'm telling you, this life, man. Miss Chicago, I'm telling you, man, it's life. I'm telling you, it's life, man. I had to learn hard lessons in life, man. Like it's hard. Like it's easy when you're amongst your people to talk about certain things, right? And but when you're not, I just noticed like, bro, I don't, me personally, I don't be looking for sympathy from nobody, right? I understand if they give it, I appreciate it, but if they don't, then it is what it is, It is what it is. I don't be looking for it, but I just don't understand like why. I don't know. This shit just weird. This shit just weird, man. And I be trying to be. I don't even like using the term positive. I just be trying to be optimistic, looking at things. And I try to extract a lesson from everything if it, involves me or not. It's like and instead of people doing that, they just want to spread hate, man. They just want to spread hate, you know, and it's disheartening. That's why I don't really be on YouTube that much. I don't be in people's chats that much, man, because I'm looking for areas where we just building, man, and it ain't. I need. I'm big on energy, bro. I'm really big on energy, and this I got my own issues, right? I don't come over here. I don't come over here whining and crying about. Oh shit, my bad. Drop my phone. I'm coming here whining and crying about circumstances. But that's part of life. Right? Adversity is just the stop, Diddy. You want to go in the house? I told you I'm gonna come out here and do my thing. Yeah, I'll be whining and crying. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right. I don't know what happened. Dropped my phone and switched to regular YouTube. But yeah, I don't be whining and crying and begging people to have sympathy. And that shit don't do nothing for me, man. It really don't. It don't do nothing for me. So I don't, But at the same time, I share those experiences because there's lessons in them, and I try to, share the lesson I learned from those experiences. And even doing that, like when you talk about as a black person, when you talk about slavery, what people don't understand, that shit has it still has effect on people throughout generations, bro. They got it's not in the DSM book, but Dr. Francis Chris Weisling, one of our black scholars, talked about post-traumatic slave disorder, the effects of slavery, how it has effects on generations far removed from slavery. That shit have effects, and if you ain't aware of it, those effects can be detrimental to you and the generation coming after you if you continue to pass along a lot of those symptoms, a lot of those things that we suffer from slavery. So when you're talking about that amongst black people, it's cool. People can kind of resonate with it. But then when other people come in a group and they hear it, then they be like, well, other people, we're not talking about who else went through slavery. I really don't give a flying fuck what happened. I'm talking about me and what I got to heal from, what I got to heal my people from. So that shit become a distraction to me. That's why I don't even indulge in those conversations. Like, okay, yeah, other people went through slavery. Fine. Now you want to go back and forth and say who went through it worse? No, man. I'm just talking about what me and people look like me got to do to become better, to get better, because that shit has the lasting effect. And if you ain't, my pops in the chat, what up though? Frankie Blanco, we face them ahead and move on. That's what we do, Pop. That's what we do, man. Learn from them. That's how we get stronger. Just like when you working out and you rip those muscles up, when they heal, they become better. That's the same concept that we use with our problems, with our struggles, man. That's why I say my struggle is my hustle. My pain is my muscle. That's what it is in real life, bro. That's how I live life, man. I learn, but you have to learn. You have to take those lessons out from the ancestors and the elders and learn from their mistakes and become better, make better decisions. Like if y'all caught that live last night when I was talking about maturity right there, I mean that's gonna hit. That's gonna make sense. I was listening to a couple people, like I said, I don't even be in the chat. And then I hear people say, where's the positive channels? Where's the positive channels? It's like, man, I've been doing this shit for 2 years, man. I've been doing it for 2 years, and I don't feel I got the support or get the support for the content that I'm putting out because I'm actually out here. I'm not making no bullshit. I ain't on here beefing. I ain't on here trying to tear nobody down. But then you hear people talk about where the positive channels that they hear. You just ain't looking for them, bro. You ain't looking for them. That's on you. Shit, we been doing this shit for 2 years. We been doing it nonstop. I got over 600 videos and I deleted over 500. So since I've been on here, I done made over 1,000 videos. So it ain't like I ain't been doing it. People always want something, but they don't want to go look for it. They wanted it to be put on a silver platter in front of them. I ain't never had that luxury in life. We had to work. We had to grind. Even now, man, like I could be sitting here complaining about, oh, woe is me. I can't see. I can't this. I can't that. I had to adjust my whole life, and I don't make no excuses. I just find other ways to get it done. Gary said adversity creates diversity. I had to become diverse. Yeah, I had to lean on people more, and I had to swallow my pride because I wasn't used to that. I was not used to leaning on nobody, bro. I was just used to getting it done the best way I could. I had to pivot. I had to adjust in life. So yeah, I gotta depend on people more, which is probably good because I'm getting older, and the older we get, we have to adjust anyway. So better do it now, so it'll become easier later. You know, it'll become easier later if you learn how to do it now. Yeah, but all that hate and shit, man. That shit's sad. That young man lost his life. He didn't have to lose his life. But you gotta learn from that, man. You can't put your hands on people, bro. You just can't, man. You can't put your hands on people. You can't hit somebody and expect them to hit you back. I mean, you can't determine how people protect themselves. That's just a fact, bro. And if you ain't learned that at a young age, you should have learned that from home. You should have learned that from home. My mom and dad always told me not to put my hands on other people unless I was ready for them to put their hands back on me. Keep your hands to yourself. We taught that at a young age. Don't go looking for trouble, man. The shit happens. You don't know what level another person willing to take something to. You might be just trying to fight, but this person might be willing to take you out. That's just reality. You don't know what's on another person's mind. So if you could, it's best to avoid confrontation if you can. Just better that way. Blackbird, what up, my brother? But in situations like that, yeah, I might just do an upload on, and then we'll do a live. If people want to get in and discuss it. 11:11. 11:11. But yeah, I'd be interested in hearing, everybody's experience. Like my wife Middle Eastern, right? So listening to her mom, it's like on my way to a funeral, condolences, bro. Condolences, young brother, man. Condolences. Serious, what up, sis? Appreciate you. Shout out to Serious. Shout out to Serious. Yeah, condolences, Blackbird. My bad. Boy, you do not want coffee going down the wrong hole and coming out your nose. Mm-mm. But yeah, so like listening to my wife's mom's experience and her dad, they're coming from Iraq, going around the time of the Gulf War. And it's like, damn, I never had to experience a lot of the shit they experienced. I never have to. I don't have to be all sympathetic. I don't have to be all apologetic for it, but just understanding, like, damn, that's they straight. And that'll even help you understand the person more, right? Because now I know why they are or react or respond to different things differently from what I do because of their experience, right? That's the benefit of taking the time out listening to somebody instead of trying to tell people. And that's what people don't look, man. Let me tell you something too. When somebody telling you about their experience, how it's called, you know what? I'm trying, young Riaz, what up, though, little bro? Blackbird, I'm trying to get away from the coffee. If you ain't start, don't. If you ain't start drinking it, don't start now. Go get you some tea. I really drink coffee the way I do now because of my shunt. If it wasn't for my shunt, I wouldn't be drinking coffee like this. I drink coffee like people drink water now. It just helped my shunt regulate the fluid and send it through. But yeah, if you ain't drinking coffee already, don't start now. It's a habit, bro. It becomes, you can get addicted to it too. That caffeine, boy, have you, it's, it's calling me. You'll be like Pookie off of New Jack City, bro. It's just calling me. You'll be like that with the caffeine, bro. Mhm. But yeah, when we interacting with one another, I'm gonna be real with you. And I see at times. Look, man, I got very keen observation skills, right? And it's specific things I look for. Like I look for people motive. Like why are you saying what you're saying? Like I look for people intentions. What are you trying to get out of this? What are you getting out of this? That's what I look for. So it's sometimes out of people ignorance, right? People do it, and then it's sometimes because people just be trying to downplay your experience, right? And I'm just giving advice right now to anybody listening. I don't care what color you are, black, white, orange, purple, yellow, green. When someone is sharing their experience, it's best not to compare their experience to someone else's. Because if you're doing it out of pure ignorance, you might be like, okay, well, it ain't that bad because of it. You can't tell nobody how something feels to them. You can't do that, bro. And people, when you do that, that shows your level of ignorance. Like we can experience the same thing, but it can affect us differently, right? I may not be built like you. I might not be strong as you. You know what I'm saying? So you telling me how I should feel about what I went through is ignorant. It's pure ignorance. You telling me how something affect me is pure ignorance. That's ignorance, man. That's like even listening to black people when they talk about slavery. Only thing I try to do is give them some more information, right? But I can't tell them how slavery affected their generations or their lineage. And if you think it don't, it's called learned behavior. It was a behavior learned during that process. And that behavior transfers from generation to generation to generation. And if it don't get corrected, it becomes worse and worse with every generation. If you there's psychological experiments. Shout out to Speak Easy. I forgot what he called it, but he just shared a newer recent one, right? But if you look up the five monkey experiment, you'll understand what I'm saying. How people don't have to be directly involved with a situation to be affected by it because of the learned behavior, right? So I can observe and see how where certain things are rooted at. Like I can tell if it's something that people picked up recently or if it's in their past. I can observe and do that. Atmosphere in the building. What up, my guy? What up, my guy? I know when I come on early, I'm gonna see a whole bunch of different names. I'll be on late than a mother. My people be sleep. They gotta get that rest. Now I appreciate everybody who came through. I'm just spitting for a minute. But yeah, don't downplay other people's experience. If anything, listen because maybe you can help. But you ain't helping by telling them they shouldn't feel this way or comparing their experience to another person. Like, well, everybody been through slavery. Okay, we're not talking about everybody. And guess what? Slavery affected each group of people differently, right? All that can be agreed upon. But by you even trying to shift the conversation that way, you basically saying, fuck me. We talking about me, right? We talking about me. Let me talk about me. If I go into a Jewish chat and they talking about the Holocaust, I ain't about to be like, what black people went through in America. I ain't about to do all that, man. I'm gonna listen to their story because I can learn from it. I can understand them better. And I shouldn't feel no type of way because I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Like if I talk about slavery, I don't want no white people to feel like I'm talking about you. I don't feel like you did the shit. Even if your people was involved, guess what? That wasn't you. I ain't telling you. I know some people do be trying to put the blame, and I tell black people that shit wrong, bro. I don't believe in that shit neither. You can't put the blame on what somebody else did on people today. I don't agree with that shit. That shit halts the conversation right there. That shit almost nullifies the conversation. You trying to push blame on some other. They ain't had shit to do with it. I don't do that shit. We put the jackets on the people that fit, right? The people who came after that ain't got nothing to do with it. Even if they benefited from it, it ain't their fault. Shit, that's life, bro. I'll be real, people. I ain't trying to make nobody feel guilty or ashamed of shit. I'm just telling my story and how it affected me. That's it. But yeah, I will agree. It be people doing that shit. I be hearing, but well, your people did like, bro. Why you mad at them? That's they people. Like shit, they ain't do it. So I do. I understand that part, and I do tell. If you listen to me, I tell people like, no, don't do that. They ain't have shit to do with it. I don't care, even if they got documentation that they family owned slaves. So what? And then like shit like this. Well, black people own slaves too. Black people sold black people. Man, that's bullshit. I don't want to hear that. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. That right there, you're trying to nullify how a person feels about something, bro. Like that's ignorance to me, bro. Well, slavery went. Oh, we're not talking about everybody, man. We're talking about me and my people. Like I'll be wondering, like, damn, why people be so afraid to hear other people's story? Because when people start telling their story, man, like, look, I learned so much shit because I listened. I remember this this Slavic boy, this Slavic dude I met. I used to work with him. Nola, what is you doing, bro? TMZ, what up, though, fam? Hey, man, be safe over there, bro. I was just watching you. Be safe over there. Y'all go check out TMZ over there traveling. I believe, where you at in Tanzania? I know you somewhere in Africa, bro. I seen you going, what was that, last night? I think I seen a little thing this morning. I seen when you was going through the airport and shit. Man, safe travels, man. Be safe over there, bro. I'll be checking in on you, bro. I just don't be in the chats as often. Kids are getting bigger. Hey, I got babies, bro. I gotta watch them, and I only got half an eye, so I just be listening most of the time. But yeah, be safe over there, bro. Be safe. Damn, I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah. So the Slavic dude, right? He sat and listened. He asked me a question about, you know, why black people like this or that. You know, we just had a good dialogue, and then I start telling him about slave, and he listened, and he was like, "Damn, you know what? I can resonate or I can relate to that because you know my people went through slavery too." And he was like, "In fact, because of my people went through slavery, that's where you got the name slave from." I'm like, "What?" Like, nah, he said, yeah, bro, because of the Slavic people. We were the first people called slaves. Man, I did my research and the shit blew my mind. Like, damn, up until that point, people were called either prisoners of war, they were called property, or they was called indentured servants. Up until the Slavic people became enslaved, that's where the term slave came from. It was the Slavic people. And by us listening to each other, we understood each other. We got clarity to one another. He didn't feel bad for what I went through. I didn't feel bad for what his people went through. You don't have to. You ain't got to feel bad for black people what they went through. Ain't nobody telling you that. You know, you ain't got to feel bad for like everybody went through some shit in history. Now, don't get it twisted. Everybody went through some shit. Mexicans, bro. Imagine that if you Mexican and you living in southern North America and people telling you get out your country when once upon a time your people own this shit, bro. Your people own this shit, and now people telling you to get out some shit that your ancestors bled on. That shit fucked up. That shit fucked up. You know, like people coming from Ukraine, a lot of those people buried under buildings and shit, man. I ain't never had to experience no shit like that. Bombs going off over my head, hearing sirens and shit, and you preparing for. I mean, we had tornado sirens, but that ain't shit like a bomb, bro. You go outside and motherfuckers shooting and chopping down. I experienced some shit like that in the hood, but not from no military. There's military grade weapons going off around you. You really in the midst of a battle zone, bro. And you make it through that shit and you come over here and people talking shit about that shit fucked up. That shit fucked up. Oh, go back to your country. What country? These motherfuckers bombing over there. You tell the people to go back to their country. That's some ignorant ass shit, bro. You ain't gotta deal with that. Mm-mm. You don't know what other people gotta go through, what other people experience. And I don't try to make my experience superior to nobody else. You know, mine is mine, yours is yours. I can listen and learn from you, So I can avoid a lot of the shit that other people go through. You can listen and learn from me so you can avoid the shit I gotta go through. That's how we get better. That's how we do better, you know. But if we sitting up here trying to downplay everybody's experiences, man, that shit ain't gonna make nothing better. You trying to make somebody experience, man, that shit ignorant to me, man. And I be knowing, like, like I have a conversation with you, I correct you, but at the end of the day, I know, like that shit ignorant, bro. I can't put my limitations on nobody. Meaning, just because I'm not capable of something, I can't assume someone else isn't capable. That's ignorant, right? And then I can't expect people to do what I can do also, because it's the opposite to putting limitations on people. You can't put your strengths on there just because you can do something or overcome something. Don't mean everybody else can. They may not have the proper knowledge, the tools, the resources. There's a reason you overcame the thing. Even if you pulled yourself up from the mud, right? Maybe it was your desire or willpower. You know, people may not have that, man. They may not have developed that yet. If you trying to shame people because they ain't capable of what you capable of, that's ignorance, man. That don't make the situation better. It just don't. Squirt Mama, what up, though? Wellness with Frugal Mama, what up, sir? Yeah, so I don't do that, man. I accept people for who they are, and if you can help them, help them. But if you can't, don't hurt them. That's how I live life, man. You know, and let people have their experiences, man. You can't determine how somebody felt or see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I can't, not right now. I'll do it in a minute. You don't even need to be playing with that. That ain't a toy. You got all these toys in the backyard. You can get your bike out, bro. I don't want to ride your bike. Hmm? And your nose running. Your coat not zipped up. Go get some tissue. Please hit the like. Appreciate that. I don't. This is different. Okay. I'm on my phone and it's hard to share different things. I don't know why it's so hard. Yeah. But yeah, if you can't help nobody, don't hurt them, bro. Don't hurt 'em. Yeah, you'll get further with honey than vinegar, bro. With people. And if you can't be nice or sweet to a person, that might mean you don't need to be around them. Everybody ain't for everybody, man. I stopped a long time ago trying to force being friends or cool with people. You just can't be cool with everybody. That's just reality. Everybody ain't meant to mess with everybody. You know, it's just not meant to happen that way. Just appreciate the people that you do mess with. Focus on that, man. The people you can respect, the people who can respect you, people who willing to help you. You know, focus on them people. Stop worrying about who ain't doing stuff and focus on who is doing stuff. You know, if you got one or two, if you got two people in the chat, you got two people willing to listen to you. Now, how ignorant will it be for you to neglect them because it's not other people in the chat, right? So now I ain't gonna never do that. I'm gonna appreciate. Last night we was rocking out. It went from 9 down to 3, and we was still rocking out. 3 people. And I appreciated all 3 people who was in the chat. I appreciate all 8 people in the chat right now, man. We ain't gotta have 20, 30, 40, 100. 1K, we ain't gotta have all that. Just appreciate what you got because shit, you can lose that too. It can be nobody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Now think about that. You neglect the 8 people in the chat and they say, well, fuck you, I can go somewhere else and spend my time better. Then you ain't got that. That's what happens when you focus on things, the wrong things, right? You focusing on what you don't have versus what you do have. When you nurture what you do have, you start showing appreciation to the people that hear and that shit feel good. That shit, that's how shit grows. You know what I'm saying? That's how it grows. You show appreciation to them, they show appreciation to you. People come through and see how you appreciate the chat. They want to be part of that too. That's how communities grow. But if y'all come in here and I'm constantly talking about it's not enough people in here, it's not do this, people not donating, you'll be like, damn, what about the people who sending you the $2, the dollar? Maybe that's all they got right now. But they still blessing you. The shit, they ain't gotta give you that. Not only the donations, what about the people they time, bro? Time is precious. You can get money back. You can make more money. You can't get more time back. So that's the most precious thing on this app that people can give me is their time. Those people, shout out to Didi. You know, Bond, what up though? Bond in the house, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. You know, those people right there, man, you can't get time back, man. Be grateful for those people. If it's one or two people giving you the time, you can't get that back. You can't buy it. You can't trade it. You can't. That's the most valuable commodity on this planet right now. It's time. And when people give it to you, be appreciated too. They don't have to. You know what people get a time to? Jobs. And you know why? Because they get compensated for it. They get paid. Even if they underpaid. I think most jobs, if you getting paid less than $30 an hour for your time, I think you're getting shorthanded. I don't care what your occupation is. That's your time, bro. You don't get that shit back. You've been using that, spending it with your family, creating memories, you know, doing something for yourself. You know, people take paychecks and time away from themselves, from developing their own self. So give it to somebody else to make them rich. Why would you do that? Now you about to go in the house. I told you not to throw them rocks. You hit the window with a rock. Why would you do that? If it breaks, then what? That's what happened when you throw stuff at windows, they can break. Okay? We don't throw rocks. I told you not to throw rocks. Do you understand? Thank you. Do it again, you won't be coming out here. I will ban you from the backyard. You will not be breaking no windows, bro. My bad, little nine chirping. My boys gonna be boys. He break my window, I'm gonna have to break that butt. I ain't playing. I don't care. That's your table. I bought it. If you break it, I'm not buying no. I don't waste time on folks. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, folks will let the enemy use. Yeah, yeah. Your time is a precious commodity. You ain't gonna get it back, man. Once it's gone, it's gone. You ain't gonna get it back. So you know, be cautious with the way you use it because when you spend time, what you buy is influence, man. Any and everything. Stop hitting my dog with that bat. What is wrong with you? Bye. In the house. You tripping. You hitting the dog. Why would you hit my dog? I know. I know. It's okay. You can go hit my baby. That my baby girl. I know. It's okay. Chill out. My bad. My son is tripping. I know why. He mad. He usually when we come in the back we playing. And I'm doing a live, not paying him attention. You know, he just looking for attention. That's it. And he doing stuff to get my attention. If it's happening consciously or subconsciously, you know, I'm aware of it. So I ain't gonna be on too long, but chill with the boy. It's a little, it ain't nice outside, but I mean, it ain't bad outside. It's nice. So, oh, okay. I don't know why I was working like that, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you know, long story short, man, y'all go check out the live I did last night. Hopefully we get that up to 100 views, man. I think I'm at like 60 some views. definitely worth the replay. It ain't too long. I think it's like you can get to meat and potatoes within the first 30 minutes. So if you had 30 minutes to blow, man, I appreciate that. Hit that like button for me too. I'm trying to get, I mean, I get the views, but I don't get the likes. You know, we getting hundreds of views, but we can't even get 50 likes. So if y'all can utilize a little bit more of that time and hit that like button for me, I would greatly appreciate it. You know, I greatly it helps put me in the algorithm, it helps get the content out to more people. You know, we trying to go. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That's my little buddy, man. We do everything together. What video game is the one I did last night? Is Maturity. It's called Maturity. Let's delineate. Yeah. It's a good video, bro. Yeah, it's a good video. Yeah, but we trying to grow. We over here doing something beneficial. I don't even want to use the term positive, you know, because it's so. But what we doing is beneficial, right? It got information that people can learn from. You know, they can add to themselves. You know, I ain't saying I'm change your life. I ain't trying to change your life. I'm trying to help you change your own life by reshaping the way you think, by giving you some new tools or some nuances that you can use. That's all. Just trying to reshape the way you think. And that's how your life changes. You know, our actions are predicated upon our thoughts, and what we do dictates what we get in life, right? So to do better, we got to think better. And to think better, we got to feel better, man. That's the key. That's the sauce right there, feeling better. Feel better to think better. Think better to do better. That's the formula of the word. That's how you reshape the way you think. Your life is literally molded, predicated upon your actions. The way you react or respond in different situations and scenarios. That's how your life is shaped, right? And there's a lot to go in the middle of that. You know, that's just the two slices of bread, right? But it's some stuff to go in the middle of that. Some sauce on it and some meat and cheese. Right, we get into the meat and cheese and the sauce. You know, I've been dropping the sauce, but we get to the meat and cheese. But definitely, that's how it works. Think better to do better. How do you think better? You got to feel better. Gorilla Biscuits, what's up, though? Appreciate you, appreciate you. Yeah, so yeah, I will continue dropping the tools that you can use. We'll talk about these different concepts. Like I said, I'm not here to speak positivity. I'm trying to be beneficial. Right? So I ain't gonna say I'm speaking positive. I'm trying to give you tools you can use to better your life, to reshape your life. And a lot of this is predicated upon experience. You know, if I can do a 180, I ain't gonna say a 360, because that just means I went in a circle. I'm still doing the same thing. Right now, we did a 180. We doing the complete opposite. You know, we was surviving, now we thriving. There's a difference between the two. Diddy, no, that's my downspout. Like, see, he tripping. He's literally hitting a downspout with a shovel. Like, do you know what happened if you bust a hole in that? We have issues, okay? And that's more money. I gotta come out my pocket. There's more money. I'm get your pop over here to fix it. He gonna be upset. No, he won't. But yeah, King Miller in the building. What up, King? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But yeah, so we're on a benefit train. We trying to be beneficial to one another. Better user, better us. All that is this. Check this out. It's not the world that's broken, it's the people in it. And the only way you can fix the world and the problems is for the people to fix themselves. So a better you, a better us is a solution. That's how we get it done. We have to become better individually so we can be better collectively. You know, it's true. If you never seen one rotten apple spoil the whole group of apples, do the experiment yourself. Get a whole bunch of fresh apples and take one rotten one and put it in there and see how long it takes for that one to affect the menu. See how long it takes. Don't take too long. So one rotten apple can spoil the group. That's why we have to be better individually to be better collectively. It just have to be like that. It have to be like that. But let me get my butt off here. I'm about to run around with my son real quick. I gotta get to the backyard together. Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate all support. I'm grateful for all support. You know, y'all time, y'all donations, y'all shares, y'all like, all that is meaning. You know, you ain't got to do it. So when you do it, I'm grateful. You know, but let me get my butt off here. Oranges too, grapes too. You feel me? It only takes one to ruin a bunch. It only takes one. So we all have to be consistently. It's not about perfection. You know, we trying to progress. You know, leave out the perfection and let's just progress. You ain't got to eliminate the P. You just got to change the ideology, right? It ain't got to be perfection, but progression. Just do better today than you did yesterday. I wake up constantly thinking, how can I become better today than I was yesterday? If you do one thing, right? You know, last night, if you catch the end of that video towards the end, I was explaining a whole nother tier of memberships I'm about to do where I'm gonna be offering a group coaching session and an individual coaching session. I delineated or explained in greater detail on the video last night. I think it's towards the end, like at the hour mark, right when I was about to get off, I was talking about it. I'll talk about it later. I just didn't get time to talk about it now. But yeah, definitely check that out. And if you're interested, you know, all the logistics within that time frame of that video. So yeah, check that out. But I might be back tonight. If not, I'll definitely be back Sunday, Monday, one of those days. But I think we're gonna rock out tonight. So if you ain't got nothing to do, if you're off tomorrow, come through. It'll be an open panel. We can talk about anything that's talked about, you know, anything y'all want to talk about. But you know the way we do it. You know, we don't debate. We ain't about to argue. We'll have a conversation. We civilized people over here. We grown. We grown folk. We can have a conversation without yelling, screaming, and all that homonyms and insults. Like, you know, we can be respectful. It's all about being an example, right? You know, I got a little one right here. I have to be the example. I have no choice, man. If I want him to be successful in life, I got to teach him how to do it. You know, I got to instill in him all the things I know so he can take it to the next level. That's what was done for me. Even if I can't accomplish things, I shouldn't hinder his ability to accomplish them. You know, so I have to be the best version of myself, not only for me, but the people around me. You know, and that inspired them to do the same. You know, be the example, man. That's one of the tag phrases over there. Be the example. You ain't really got no choice. It's something that you should naturally want to do. Be the example. You know, be the change that you want to see in the world. You have to be it. And once you show people how it can be done, then people follow suit. You know, if it's beneficial. And that's what we doing over here. We trying to benefit. Right? But y'all know what I always say, man. Care about how you feel. These are conversations to build nations. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that share button. Tell somebody, help me spread the word. But until next time, we out.